It's called The Lawn, and it's prefaced by a quote from Rilke, who wrote, "Spring has returned. The earth is like a child that knows poems." The lawn. He is mowing the lawn again. Again, it is unnecessary, like pulling grey hairs from a greying head. On another warm November evening, I put down the newspaper with the interminable stories of emissions trading, the growing number of climate change skeptics, to watch him do what he does every other Sunday, go at it like there's no tomorrow. I want him to stop mowing the parched lawn, but his body moves with such speed and purpose that I fear he is afraid of grass and its slow and chthonic growth. I want him to take the lawn clippings collected like Alex in the grass catcher and spread them at the foot of the tree leaning into the corner of his garden. I want to shake him like the wind shakes his cottage garden when it blows hot and hard from the north. I want him to enter his house when he has finished using the edge trimmer and pick up a dictionary and look up the word consanity. I need him to listen to the earth, no poems. And this is Reef Dreaming, and it's for Sarah. Leaving the boat, you enter the world of water, naked of knowledge, schooled only in the use of snorkel, mask and flipper. At first, uncertain of the ocean's depth, your arms and legs go everywhere, the sudden terror in your heart heard in each troubled breath. A fish swims in front of you, then another, and another. The colours brighter than the brightest colours in your favourite box of paints. Now your mouth becomes a gill, limbs, a tail and fins. You drift among reef and fish, a friend, a fellow fish, until the reef appears like the living thing it is, to crawl out from the shadows and seek the light it feeds upon. Now, caught between coral and the source of light, fish dreaming turns to fear. You feel the reef slice into your flesh like a knife, gills filling with water. Taking your hand, we find a sandbank to stand upon, and I explain how the glass in the mask magnifies the view. It changes the look of things, I say, like the mind does when it dreams. Still holding hands, we turn our backs on the reef and push off for the shore, floating like lovers on a canvas by Chagall. There was a flash like lightning, followed by a roaring silence and a burst of heat upon the skin, then a barely audible boom, like the sound of distant thunder. I remember waking from one dream and walking into another through the blue phosphorescent flames which flickered like the reels of silent film. Like insects trapped in amber, the dead embraced or sat silently at prayer. A woman with 100 heads was eating air like mad. It was then that I turned away from the ruins and went to the river, where an animal drifted downstream like an upturned table. So I took the table to ferry people across the river. Here, the dying would not look at the living or those wanting to live, and wished that they were dead, while the living felt like dying, yet did not care for those about to die. Black rain began to fall, and the river forgot to flow. So I stepped off the table and walked across the water. In the distance, I could see winged horses rising from the pools of blood on the ground, and seas springing from the earth at the touch of their hooves. Family one with children in it, from my first book, A Bone McCall. It's called The Company of Spiders. The spider finds a home on the kitchen windowsill, suspended among glass bottles and jars. A mandala pregnant with meaning, she squats and waits, her back bubbling with unborn babies. By morning, her children are leaving the dead body and moving out from the centre of the web along delicate threads to the circle's rim. You can't just leave them there, my daughter protests, arms flailing, hands flapping, while her brother suggests flushing them down the sink. As the children ready for school, I take the jar outside, place it in the garden amongst fallen bark and snowgrass, and linger in the company of spiders. It's called A Hangover, preference by a quote from George Meredith, his poem Modern Love. I do not know myself without thee more. Hangover. And like the times you had one glass too many, your marriage didn't know when to stop. For years you drift into unconsciousness, then wake one morning with a hangover to find the furniture and the children gone. From habit you take 2 aspirin, surprising yourself with your circumspection. You don't know whether to eat or not, to sleep or stay awake. And when, wet spent, you want to rest, you find there is no peace, no quiet. Your friends appear like paramedics administering advice on the therapeutic properties of time. But for now, there is no cure. Yet, somehow you go on composing a villanelle in Coffs Harbour on an autumn morning, reading at the Yarra Valley Winery late one winter afternoon. Every evening you return to a silent house, pour yourself a drink, allow ice to melt as you would anger, then wait for night to come, for stars again to blink and break into countless shards of hardened light.